Hello people, this is Bear from Wave, and today we're going to take a look at the NASDAQ, and together we'll try to work out a count for the intraday. So basically what is happening right here. If you want to take a look at a few different counts that I have available for the longer time frame, then I will leave you as usual the link to that video popping up on the top right of the page. Now, before we get started, a couple of things. Number one is, as you probably noticed, starting from the previous video on Bitcoin, I'm going to start putting the previous day close to whatever instrument I am covering on the thumbnail. So you can see that not only, if I'm, today, as you probably saw, it's going to be the NASDAQ Elliott Wave Analysis, and on the thumbnail you will see yesterday's close. So you guys understand that we are looking at the most recent update on the channel. And before we get started, also, I wanted to ask a question on a member about retracements. So these are the main tools that I use here in TradingView. Now, as you can see here, one is called Fib Retracement, the other one is called Trend Fib Extension. Now, the fact that it's called Fib Retracement, the only thing that has to do with Fib is that the ratios, which you actually can set up. So the ratio comes from Fibonacci, also called Leonardo da Pisa, who was an Italian mathematician in the 1400s, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, basically the way you usually tend to use these, so for the retracement, basically you want to take a wave, and let's say this time we're going to use the bullish scenario. We're going to take a wave. So let's say this is wave 1 and 2, which you're going to use for the sake of this video. And you want to see upside, right? So I'll say this is wave 2, and then you're wondering if this is wave 2. And if it is, how much did it retrace to the downside of the previous move in wave 1, right? So how deep was wave 2 compared to the advance in wave 1? That's, again, the bullish scenario, an example. And you use the Fib retracement. Now you start with where wave 1 started. You end where wave 1 ends. So you take the length of wave 1. And here, it means that this right here, this piece right here, is 23.6% of the entire move. This piece right here represents 61.8% of the entire move. That's how it works, as simple as that. Now, when it comes to this tool right here, which once again, it's called Fib just because of how you use the ratio. You can literally do this by measuring, which is what we're doing when we use Fibs, we're measuring. So let's say, same correction of the same degree will tend towards equality. So let's say you want to measure wave 4, and you want to see where wave 4 is equal, this one is equal to the length of wave 2, right? So what you do here you take this tool, you take the length of wave 2. What is wave 2? Wave 2 here is this, basically this move here to the downside. So you take that measure, first click, second click, and then you took the length of wave 2. And now you want to see where wave 4 is equal. So you start where you put it where wave 4 starts. Obviously, wave 4 starts here and ends here. And as you can see here, equality 1 stands right here. So in this point, wave 4 was as long as wave 2. Right here, 0.618, wave 4 was 0.618 times the length of wave 2, so it's actually shorter, so on and so forth. So that's how you use it. That being said, let's quickly move on to the NASDAQ. So, speaking of the NASDAQ, the way I see it, as you can see also, what have I done? Either wave 2 is completed or it's not, right? I saw in the Discord, which if you want to join, it's absolutely free. Most people are bearish. At least most people who are active are bearish. I am flexible. I was expecting downside from here. Sorry, I was expecting upside from here, which is partially why I bought some stocks, some big names, some big techs. But it's a matter of, are we done here? Is this A or W? And are we in B or X? Or is this wave 2 actually? So do we have a bottom? And to answer that question, The honest answer is I don't know. We can try to play a guessing game, which is what we do after all when we forecast. But to give you an exact answer, I have no clue. I mean, I try to have some clues, but I don't know. I don't know for certain, right? Otherwise, I would be rich. If I knew the future, I'd be rich. So, let's see. Okay, so this is deleted. Okay, so one way to look at it is this. This obviously is suggesting that so we have wave A here, B here, and then downside within this wave 2, right? This wave 2 goes here. That's what this kind of suggests. Now, there's actually, the more time goes on, the more it looks bullish. So it is possible we are in something like this. And if I mean, ideally, we would find resistance here. And we could either do this, and at that point, if we break this high here, we know it cannot be a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, right? If it breaks this high here, because you would have wave kind of validation. And at that point, we could have some sort of conviction. Wave 2 is not completed, and we are due for the downside, right? That's one way to look at it. Now, the other way to look at it is, I don't know why it's not. I thought I had it. Okay, so my apologies. Maybe it doesn't show on the. Okay, so I'm going to create it. I thought it was visible. So the other way to look at it, simply, wave 2 is completed. This could be orange. Okay, and let's call it 2 done. And this is 1, 2. The degree is fine. Right here, I think wave C here is, yeah, that's another way to look at ratios, right? Many times wave C is as long as wave A, and here was equality of C against A. Oopsie. And it was respected, right? That happens many times. So many times when you get wave down, up, and down, you look for equality, which is what I did, and I'm gonna show you right here, right? So my point is this wave 1? I don't know. As we showed 1 minute ago, this could also be wave A. Is wave 2? Well, this could also be wave B. Many times, when you get this, you also get 5 more. If you get 5 waves up, you need to get, and 3 down, you need to get 5 waves more to the upside. But you don't know if that was wave 3 or wave C. Many times, equality, so right here, 18,880, which is equality, would act as resistance. Now, the interesting thing is that we actually broke through it, and now it looks like we're consolidating above it, which is why we're going to look at the futures in just a second. It looks like we could do further upside, and that's why it looks pretty bullish. If we even go into the 15-minute chart, one way you could look at this, it's probably a series of 1, 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What about 1, 2? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So one way you could look at this is probably something like this. It's a tricky one. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And there you could actually count this as a 5-wave move. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3. Could you? Yes. So you could actually kind of something like this. I like to be a bit more conservative when I'm looking for 1-2s, but this looks like pretty reasonable. 19,000 seems to be acting as resistance, as support, so I would expect upside, and that's one way to look at it, and that is, obviously this would be, if it wasn't obvious, a leading diagonal into wave 1. So let's take a look at the futures. So here's the futures, and yeah, you have your potential 1-2. Looks like, yeah, we could see this is very common after the close here. So this time is a CET, Central European Time. Okay, so that, like this area right here, this is post-market, after market. Yeah, we could see consolidation here, and with today's session, I would expect upside. I don't know if it's gonna come, but that's what I expect. Obviously, none of this was, or will be financial advice, but that's what I expect for the NASDAQ. If we go back on the 4-hour and we take a look at volume, maybe the hour. Let's start with the daily. So this is very interesting. So this candle right here, so yesterday was very interesting, because we bottom with highest volume, very common, because right here you have the most, think about it, the most chaos, you have the most exchange between sell and buy orders, so there's going to be volume here at the turning point, and then as you can see here, with corrected with lower volume, we move up with lower volume, which is not really a great sign, but this yesterday is pretty interesting because we do have volume back into the market, which could also mean people are starting to sell. People who bought here are starting to sell, but it's an interesting sign nonetheless. But yeah, I will look for upside in today's session. Let's see what's going to happen. But that's the way I see the NASDAQ. It's a matter of, are we done or not? And if we are, where are we going next? Is this corrective? Is this impulsive? As usual, if you like the content, I will highly appreciate it if you subscribe. As well, if you want to join the Discord, it's absolutely free. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.